Since the last week, the Igbo people and Nigerians have been riveted on the IBB biography, which more or less exonerated the Igbo people from the false charge that they plotted to eliminate the leadership of the other groups in Nigeria. Most people do not really know everything that was involved or that was included in that charge, that the Igbos were responsible for what you would call regicide, the elimination of the leadership of the other Nigerians. And I'm going to make clear in this video that Michael Zekome came out before IBB to lift that hook off the neck of the Igbos. And I think Oputa panels, the team sent there by the Igbo people, did a very wonderful job of work. And then IBB came out and reiterated what these people have been saying, or what a lot of good people have said, that the Igbos were never responsible for the accusation that was used as justification for the murder of 3 million plus Igbos. But I'm going to bring a fresh twist to the discussion because I studied this subject more than anybody alive. The original accusation was that all the Igbo people came together and plotted. All the Igbo people included infants and those yet unborn. That was why the program then was to kill every Igbo. In doubt? Because this should be incredulous that human beings could think like this. Go and read Robert Colley's Nigeria in Conflict. This very anti-Semitic British colonial official, one of the most ridiculous things anybody could say was that the British colonial officials were not anti-Semitic against the Igbos. Everything that came out of the pen of Robert Collis reminded you of what the Nazis were saying about the Jews. He said there was a deep plot by the entire Igbo nation to take over the entire country. This is what most people don't know. They do not know that there was an accusation, a false accusation called Igbo coup. Not because Nzogwu, Ifeajuna, and a few other Igbos carried out a coup, because Nigeria played down the participation of the Yorubas, the participation of the Fulanis, the participation of the Hausas. Everybody's participation was played down. Only the participation of these few Igbo officers was highlighted. But this was not why the coup was called an Igbo coup. It was called an Igbo coup because there was a belief, a fabrication that all the Igbos came together to carry out that coup. That's what happened. And I will drop a note of warning here. These people that are going up and down, some of them are Igbos, distorting Igbo history, confusing many Igbos, lying to them that Igbos did not come from Israel, that Igbos were not the ancient Israelites, a fact confirmed by DNA, which showed that Igbos migrated from the Levant. My own DNA says this. That of Emeka Maduewesi says this. That of Charles Nokafo says this. Ejekwu Mados said this. There is no single Igbo that has had his DNA or her DNA analyzed, and it did not show the Levant. A rabbinical court headed by a PhD holder, one of the most educated rabbis in this world, headed this court, has ruled that the Igbos are lineal descendants of the biblical Israelites, and went further to provide for the Jews and the Igbos a lifeline to the future by telling the Jews and the Igbos that when Igbos are in Omenana and Jews are in Judaism, they could marry without conversion. It offered these two communities a lifeline. That's what that ruling did. But we have some. Some of them are Revrav. They may have Igbo lineages, but they are Revrav. Some of them are clearly not Igbos, that Igbos received 50 to 100 years ago. They are now embedded in the Igbos, assumed to be Igbos. They are going up and down, desecrating the memories of people like Olaude Equiano, lying that the Igbos did not come from Israel. What these people are doing is that they are delinking the Igbos from the only method that will help the Igbos to understand what has happened to them, what is happening to them, and what may happen to them in the future. And I will read out something that will open your eyes more. Those who would ignore the relevant and chase after why the original documents mentioned IBO instead of IGBO should stay away. Assuming but not considering that only some Igbo army officers were involved, we have seen that the few that were involved were a tiny minority. How did that mean that an entire nation, including those who were not yet born, were involved in a plot? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Unfortunately, Igbos began to follow non-Igbo people and the Revrav embedded among us and began to play down the only tool that will help them to understand their tragic history and sad experiences, Israelite and Ashkenazi Jewish experiences and history. Go and read the story of Dreyfuss in France, and you will see that Igbo and Ashkenazi history are like opposite sides of one coin. A Jewish army officer called Dreyfuss, a hero of the First World War, was framed for espionage. His fellow officers, French, framed him and claimed and lied that he sold French army secrets to the German enemy. It was a lie. This guy was tried, convicted, while he was being humiliated. The French mob did not shout death to Dreyfuss. They shouted death to Jews. So what are the differences? Let us assume that the coup was carried out only by Zogu, who, by the way, said that all the soldiers that went into the house of the Sadwana with him spoke Hausa. They were not Igbo. But let us also assume that it was only Zogu that carried out this coup. Was that enough for Nigerians to say every Igbo participated and every Igbo should suffer? IBB has tried, Zekome has tried, more people will write more books, but CHI UKWU has exonerated the Igbo people by making me to go through what I went through. For 20 years plus, I've done nothing besides looking very deeply at the Igbo, the Israelite, the Hebrew, the Jewish cultures and history. And today, I'm standing as one of the world's leading Hebraists. And on this note, I tell the Igbo people, because things are still going to happen to us in future, let us look carefully at Jewish history. And I tell the Jewish community too, look very carefully at Igbo history. Before October 7, 2023, there was October 7 to 12, 1966, when thousands of Igbos were murdered. The Igbos and the Jews You may be divided today because of racism and anti-Semitism. Racism, anti-Semitism, Eurocentrism, Afrocentrism, but you are one people. The earlier you realize this, get into one camp and fight for your shared future, the better for you. Thank you, and let everybody have a very beautiful day.